is up? This is Ben Foggins Media Corner, and welcome back to yet another movie review, aka After Our Soul. And today I'm going to be talking about the 2021 computer animated 3D CGI family adventure comedy sci-fi film from Sony Pictures Animation, which this is their newest project from the animation library. And this unfortunately is not one of the big releases that was supposed to be theatrical release. This is unfortunately a Netflix film because of the whole pandemic situation that's still going on. This unfortunately is a Netflix film. This is the first Sony Pictures Animation film to be released on Netflix, and this is of course The Mitchells versus the Machines. Now, this was originally called Connected back in 2020, but then it got retitled in the beginning of this year, and then they're saying that this movie was going to be released on Netflix. So it just came out on Netflix yesterday. I did watch half of it yesterday, and I just finished watching the rest of it today along with my girlfriend. So I'm going to share my views on this movie, as well as share my girlfriend's views on this movie as well. So here we go. So The Mitchells vs. the Machines. This was directed by Mike Rianda and co-directed by Jeff Rowe. And for Mike Rianda, this is his first film as a director, so this is his directorial debut. And this was also written by him along with Jeff Rowe, who again is the co-director of this movie. And basically the story of The Mitchells vs. the Machine centers on this dysfunctional family known as the Mitchells, where we follow this young girl named Katie Mitchell, voiced by Abbi Jacobson. And basically we explored her when she was a bright young girl, and suddenly she's growing up as a teenager, and basically she's about to get ready for college. But unfortunately, she was so excited to show everyone about her new video she's made, because she's kind of her family's obsessed with technology and stuff, and her father, who's voiced by McBride, feels like technology they're using shouldn't be used. What himself and what he was like back then, along with Katie when she was young. But of course everything changed about all that. Everything changed since then. It was like what us humans have experienced before. We didn't have technical phones or anything at all, say iPhones or Samsung or anything. But unfortunately, when Katie gets involved with a mishap with her family, basically her father decides to repair all of this by going on this big road trip with the rest of the family. So we see Katie along with her family, including her two parents, who again voiced by McBride, and Rudolph, her young brother Aaron, who's voiced by the director, and their pug dog. And what happens is basically we see their road trip trying to be more fun, but unfortunately their road trip gets on to a halt when it's basically they're on this road trip, and then their road's kind of blocked because for what's really going on, there's a bunch of technical robots that's havocing in our world, which is led by this evil smartphone known as Pal, who's voiced by Olivia Coleman, who's basically using these robots to be sent to our world and cause havoc. And basically we see the Mitchells trying to figure out this whole situation, and they must work as a family, and by working together they have to save the world. So we follow the Mitchells trying to save our world from these robots. So that's pretty much the story of The Mitchells versus the Machines. So for going into this film, back in 2020, I was of course really looking forward to this movie. But back then, before all of this, I wasn't into Sony Pictures Animation that much. I wasn't like a hater of this animation studio. I mean, there are pretty good animation studios, although an animation studio, but they had a few misses I had for them, and there was a few back then. There was a few that I remember watching as a kid, but not many people really talk about, like the open season movies. Which the first film I thought was decent, and the sequels, well, I haven't seen the 3 and 4, but I've seen the second one, and I really wasn't a fan of the second one. We've had Surf's Up and all that. But for the 2010s, we've had some big ones recently. We've had the Hotel Transylvania movies, which I enjoyed all 3 of them, even though critics were kind of lukewarm on them. But I enjoyed all three of the cartoony animated monster movies with an all-star cast like Adam Sandler, Kevin James, Selena Gomez, Andy Samberg, and all that. And other ones as well. We've had and we had a few like live action ones as well, you know, like the two live action Smurfs movies, and of course we've had the reboot from 2017, Smurfs: The Lost Village, and we've had as well we've had Peter Rabbit, and of course we're finally getting the sequel, which that sequel was supposed to come out last year, but due to the pandemic it's been pushed to this year. It's coming out this month in the UK, and it's coming out next month in the US. And I'm kind of looking forward to that one, even though I think that one's going to be okay, but who knows what the sequel will be like. And they had a few not so good ones I wasn't really a fan of. I just didn't appreciate that much, like the Emoji Movie was one. But they had proved themselves a lot in recent years, most recently with, of course, 2018's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is one of my favorite superhero animated movies, and even my favorite Spider-Man movie. And of course I am hyped for the sequel next year, and I can't wait for that. So back then this movie again was originally called Connected, but then it was originally to come out like in the autumn. It was supposed to come out in October, then pushed to September, but then the pandemic hit, then we didn't even know what the new release date was going to be. I was wondering when this movie was going to come out, until when the new year started. I heard this movie back on the news saying that this movie is going to be released on Netflix in April, and then the title had to get rechanged to The Mitchells vs. the Machines, which I didn't mind that title. I would have preferred Connected, but I don't mind the new title overall, but I still appreciate the title overall for this film. And I wasn't familiar with some of the cast members who I knew in this movie. Well, I know a few, such as Danny McBride, which I think he's very funny. I've seen him in a few like stoner comedies. I liked him in mostly with like Seth Rogen or James Franco. And you also have Maya Rudolph, she's really funny as well. And Olivia Coleman, she's a great actress. And you also have Eric Andre, which he's really funny. And Conen, and TV host and comedian Conen, which he's very funny, and he's also in this movie, which I was really surprised to see. So I was really looking forward to watching this on Netflix. So I watched this today I watched this yesterday. I watched half of it with my girlfriend last night on Netflix, and I just finished watching this today. And I just finished watching this today on Netflix with my girlfriend. And all I gotta say is we had an awesome time with this movie. I had an absolute blast with Mitchells vs. Machines. I really enjoyed this movie. And this is not like my number one favorite movie from this animation studio, because my favorite is again Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, but this movie I still had a really great time with. Of course, the animation for this movie is stunning, with both a mixture of like being a 2D cartoony style, hand drawn, mixed to both like 3D CGI form. The character design in that and the effects in that movie looked absolutely stunning to look at, and it looks absolutely amazing to watch on screen, with the character models' faces, like the big eyes, or like any part of facial features and all that. I really love the animation for that, and as well as for the like characters as well, like they created like the robots, which again the animation for that was stunning to watch. And I think this is probably my second favorite animated project from this company, because they just since then improved on the animation technique they've done for like newer projects that's not either a sequel or anything at all from their previous animated works. So I can see that Sony Pictures Animation is going to have these kind of animation films that just going to make their names even more bigger since 2018 Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And for the voice work in the film, you got like Abbi Jacobson, Danny McBride, Maya Rudolph, Olivia Coleman, Eric Andre, and Conan O'Brien. All the voice work, they were very funny and entertaining for bringing these characters to life. And I really love the characters in the film. They were really likable and entertaining, like the Mitchell family, like the Mitchell's family, and all the other characters as well. I love the characters in the film. And I thought everyone delivered, and for the jokes and the humor in this film, they were really entertaining and funny for me. There was no dull moment with the humor. I was almost a bit worried, but luckily the humor in this film I found really entertaining and funny. Although there was a little bit of essence of a bit of jokes and humor that kind of fell a bit flat, but I still really enjoy the jokes and the humor in this film. It had me laughing as well. And for the storytelling, I found it really, really relatable, because it's mainly about this young girl, Katie, and the relationship with her family, because everything's kind of changed for her, really, because technologies there's new technologies of stuff like cameras and phones, computers and all that, and she starts to experience that, as well as mainly leaving her family to go to college. And I really bought that, and the relationship for the family, but the relationship between her and her family, I found really nearly emotional. And it didn't make me cry or anything. It almost got me and my girlfriend crying when I was watching it, but I really love the storytelling of this girl, Katie, and her family. I really bought that. And when it cuts to another standpoint of the story, which is mainly about technical robots like causing havoc in our world, and it's basically up to this family to save the world, I found it really exciting and fun. It just makes it both really, they just nailed it for each standpoint of the story, for say the family, and then of course, you know, this big like saving the world kind of thing. I really love both of those storytelling, because it has differences to each other, because for the family, I found it very relatable and very caring, and for the other point of the story, which is again like saving the world from robots, it just makes it really exciting and fun. And overall, the Mitchells vs. the Machines, I thought this movie was absolutely awesome from beginning to end. I really enjoyed this movie. This is probably my second favorite animated movie of the year by far, and I enjoyed it. My girlfriend Chelsea also enjoyed the film. I had a really great time of it, and she also loved it. It's by far her favorite film of the year, and this is probably one of my favorite films of this year as well, along with other ones I love like Raya and the Last Dragon and all that. And I can't wait to see some more of the big films this year that I'm really looking forward to. So, and I actually kind of feel like this movie's worthy of a sequel, even though I don't think we're going to get one. But still, though, Mitchells vs. the Machines, this is one of Sony Pictures Animation's best works since Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Although it's not the #1 best, but still is one of the best ones next to that film. But if you're a fan of movies about family road trips, or if you're a fan of like movies about like technical robots or technology or anything like that, or if you're mainly a fan of Sony Pictures Animation, I really recommend this film. So for my rating, I'm gonna give The Mitchells vs. the Machines a 4.5 out of 5. And then for my girlfriend's rating, she's also gonna go for my same rating of a 4.5 out of 5. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching for my review of The Mitchells vs. the Machines. If you've already seen this movie yesterday, or if you've just seen this today, again, it's streaming on Netflix. And yeah, let me know what you think of this film. Did you have an absolute blast of it, or did you hate this one? So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for my next AK After a Store review, which is going to be on, I think, Without Remorse with Michael B. Jordan, or maybe another Netflix film. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see. I'll see what I'll watch next for my AK After a Store review. And as always, this has been Foggin's Media Corner signing off.